So this whole session is going to be about how you can make yourself more employable, and it's also going to have a little section on CV tips and tricks. So introducing me. So hi, I'm Ashleen. I'm 21 years old. I'm from London, and I graduated almost 7-8 months ago with a first class honours in business and management from Brunel University. After graduating, I didn't have any marketing experience, so I had to start from scratch. So anyone who's attending today, kudos to you. You're already on the right track attending webinars like this. So for me, I only had about 3 years of experience within luxury retail, and I kind of had to find my path after graduation to make myself more employable, and everything that I did is going to be included in this presentation to help you guys out. So last month, I started my role as my graduate job as a performance marketing executive at OMD EMEA, which is part of the Omnicom group. And alongside that, I also run Grad Girl Marketing on Instagram and LinkedIn, and we have a close Facebook group if you guys are part of it. So now we'll get into the presentation. So how can I make myself more employable? So the first thing that I would say, and something that I can't recommend enough, is start a blog. So when I graduated, for about a month, I was literally applying to any entry-level roles, internships, anything that I could find. And I was just getting rejections left, right, and center. And then I thought, why not create a blog where I can kind of show employers that I can do the job before I can get the job. And that's pretty much what recruiters want to see now. They just want as much as experience that you can show them, just to know that they're doing good by investing in you. So I would say start a blog. It could be on a social media platform such as Instagram, or it could be on websites like Wix or WordPress. And starting a blog is really good because it counts as direct experience that you can use on your CV. So you can kind of use the quantifiable effects from your blog, such as how many followers you've grown your blog to, what your engagement rate's like, and kind of just show that on your CV. And employers love seeing quantifiable experiences. That's pretty much the number one thing they want to see. So I would say if you start a blog that it could be about anything. It could be about marketing if you wish. It could be about food. It could be about travel. It could be about beauty, fitness, pretty much anything you're interested in, because it just kind of shows that you're proactive, and it kind of gives employers an aspect of your personality as well that they can't see from your CV. And it's really good because it shows a lot of skills that a lot of marketing roles need. For example, it shows that you're independent and a self-starter, and you create your own opportunity if there isn't anything present. And that you're a problem solver, you go out of your way to look for new experiences and network. And it almost quite as well shows that you're quite confident, because obviously you're putting yourself out there. If you show up on your stories every day, or if you're collaborating with other people, for instance, you have great communication skills. So I would really, really recommend starting a blog, and it's never too late to start one. And if a lot of you guys are maybe in your second year, maybe, or even your third year, I'd say that's the perfect timing. So I started mine when after I graduated, and it took me 6 months to kind of build up that experience and show it on my CV before I got a role. And if you can start that now, you'll have a year's worth of experience before you even graduate, and it'll give you a head start before so many of your peers. So the next thing that I would recommend you can go into is starting a podcast. And podcasts are really fun. So you can kind of start this on your own, or you can start this with your friends. One idea that I see a lot of people do is kind of interviewing industry professionals. And this can be a really great way for you to not only network with other people, but also actually get to know their tips and tricks and learn from their advice, and kind of apply that to your own journey and see how you can go forward and keep growing and kind of start your career. So I would say maybe start a podcast if you have some time on your hands. It's quite a lot of less work than I'd say starting a blog as well, because all you have to do is just set up, get a mic, find people on LinkedIn maybe, or if you already know anyone in the industry, get them to come onto your podcast, give them a few questions and just get them to answer accordingly. And then all you have to do is just edit that a little bit and then just post it on different platforms. And it also shows a lot of transferable skills. So once again, it shows that you have great communication skills, because you're able to network with all of these professionals, get them to come onto your podcast. And as well as that, it also shows quite a lot of like market research skills, which I think are quite important at the moment, because as you could get that potentially from a blog as well, depending on what kind of what you're writing about. Whereas with a podcast, I think it's quite like real time. So you're kind of getting the industry professionals right there and then. You're finding out who you should connect with, who you should invite. Like, it takes a lot of research. And I guess it also comes under like content creation. So if you know you want to go into content creation roles, this is perfect, because you're basically showing employers that you can kind of do the job before you get the job. And it shows project management skills too, because obviously you're going to have to create different timetables of when you want your podcast to come out, who you want to interview, like when you want stuff done by. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes. So if you can successfully start a podcast, maybe like promote it on like a social media network as well, like create a page for it, maybe promote it on LinkedIn. It just shows that you have great project management skills. And going on the topic of like content creation, something which is really popular right now, as you guys probably know, you guys probably already use it, is TikTok. So you probably already have like a personal account. So what I would say is kind of just making use of that platform and becoming like a TikTok creator. So this, I know it requires a lot of time, and with uni as well, might not be ideal, but it can be based on anything, just as a blog. You can go into fashion, you can do vlogs, you can do posts on fitness, cooking, pretty much anything that you're interested in, and jumping on those trends, new music that is coming out, and just showing, like, kind of building a community on TikTok. I think it's much easier on TikTok than Instagram, because you've got more chances to go viral, to reach a greater audience, as pretty much everyone is on it now. Like, all generations are on TikTok, and it could kind of also lead to your profile being found by recruiters as well, depending on which industry you post on. So I think TikTok would be a great idea as well to make use of, as it's all like organic right now as well. It's something that would look amazing on your portfolio or your CV, because a lot of people are starting like blogs and podcasts. So you really have to start something like different. So maybe going on like TikTok would kind of help create that unique selling position for yourself. And the other thing that I like to mention that I think is an amazing thing to do whilst you're at uni is freelancing. So if you already know that you want to go into marketing, if you kind of already know like your niche, so if you know you want to go into copywriting, or if you want to go into social media management or graphic design, then what you can do is actually create your own like freelancing agency. So this could be on Instagram. It's quite easy to find clients on Instagram. That's what I did whilst I was like job hunting. I showed like all my services, all my prices, and then I engaged with people within that niche. So for me, it was within the beauty industry, and I engaged with like their hashtags, reached out to them, DM'd them, and a lot of them didn't actually know like what they were doing wrong. So for me, when I presented my portfolio and my media kit and showed them like, this is what I've done before, like with my account, and I can do the same for you guys. So that, I think that really helped to find my clients. And then I guess it's really good because obviously, as you know, with freelancing, you can earn money. So it can turn into, like, for a lot of people, it is like a full-time role. So I think freelancing would be an amazing way as well for you to build your portfolio. And you don't even have to, for example, if you don't have anything to put in your portfolio at the moment, you can just make mock designs of how you could improve someone's Instagram, or you can make like mock logos and just put that in your portfolio and showcase that to your clients. And freelancing also counts as direct experience within marketing. So if you were to start that right now, by the time you would leave uni, you would already have like up to a year's worth of freelancing experience, which would look amazing on your CV, on your cover letters. It shows interviews that although we are in a pandemic, you know, like no one actually has to do anything and go out of the way to kind of build like a side hustle or create a blog. But the fact that you're independent and you're a self-start and you're going out of your way to do something in the industry you know you want to work in, it's really like, it's something that employees really like seeing. And I know in all of my interviews that I had when I built up a little bit of experience, employers really loved talking about my blog and how I manage like freelancing with job hunting. So I'm sure they would love to know about if you started freelancing now and you're also juggling uni at the same time. And maybe, I guess, if you have like a part-time job, like they would be really astonished as to how you can manage all of these things at once. So yeah, if you guys have a little bit of time to spare, I would really recommend looking into any of these like 4 things. But my top favorite would be a blog, as it's super easy to do. It's pretty much, it's free to start. You can do it anytime. There's space for everyone in the industry, so you might as well start it. And the next thing I want to talk about are online courses. So we're really lucky that we pretty much have access to everything at the tip of our fingers. Like, marketing is an industry that is so easy to learn. You don't necessarily need any of the hard skills like when you first enter the industry, because everything can be taught online. And you guys probably would have already completed some sort of like online courses. And so some of my favorite resources, I would say, for when I started job hunting, and I studied business and management, so I only had a few marketing modules. I didn't necessarily have that much knowledge of the marketing world and like digital marketing. So the resources that I used when I started were HubSpot. HubSpot pretty much has everything, anything marketing related, whether that's social media management, advertising, email marketing, Excel. They pretty much have everything you need. I would also recommend FutureLearn. So FutureLearn have a really good marketing course. It's great for beginners. If you just want a little overview of the marketing industry, I think it was called social media marketing. I would really recommend that. And I think Google Skill Shop is amazing too. If you want to go into like Google Ads, Google Analytics, I think that would be amazing too. And Neil Patel is really good, both his like courses and his blog for SEO, so search engine optimization. If you want to learn more about Facebook and Facebook ads, Facebook Blueprint is amazing. There's pretty much everything available. So I think if you have a little bit of time after your lectures, after your coursework, to take some time out and find out which part of marketing you really want to learn more about. So for example, the Google Digital Garage and Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, you guys probably would have already completed this. It's one of the most popular marketing courses there are. It's the first one that I completed, and it's really good to give you that overview of everything in digital marketing. So I think that would be like my number 1 recommendation. And then after that, I would really recommend the HubSpot course, Excel for Marketers. So with marketing, a lot of people think that social media is kind of everything to do with marketing. But after I graduated, I kind of realized that that's like, if you were to do a digital marketing certification like Google Digital Garage, pretty much everyone has done that. So you kind of need something where you can learn a new skill that will help to set you apart from other people. So the Excel for Marketers is great because not a lot of people focus on the numerical aspect of marketing, and is great because it teaches you a lot of things like reporting, market research, how you can get insights for your blog, how to like analyze information. And this is all key for like graduate jobs, like even for my role. So it's a performance marketing exec. I basically buy advertising space online, and I work with lots of different clients to get their ads up on different platforms like YouTube or Vivo. So we have to use Excel a lot for reporting, and in my job description it said Excel is not required, but if you have it, like, it's great. So what I did, like when I applied for the role, and they actually sent me, when I got my interview, I actually did this Excel course during like that week. And then when I went to the interview, I told them how like I'm quite knowledgeable in Excel, and that's what made me stand out from other people. It's just the fact that I went the extra mile to learn Excel, to have a bit more knowledge than what other people would have. So I would really recommend looking into this if you, even if you already have like knowledge in Excel, or if you don't, it's a great course to like, just for beginners, I think. It just teaches you all the basic formulas, and it looks amazing on your CV as well, as well as like learning something new. And then the next course that I would really recommend is the HubSpot Digital Marketing. And this is quite similar to the fundamentals of digital marketing, but it kind of gives you an overview of both the advertising and marketing industry. It goes into lots of different aspects of digital marketing. And this is great if you already know that you want to go into digital marketing. It kind of preps you for that because it gives you all of the basics. And then the last recommendation that I have is Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is amazing. So analytics are a really big part of marketing. You know, when you start working, you'll realize that whether you go into social media marketing or any other type of marketing, you will need to analyze like your campaigns. You'll need to see what's doing good, what's not doing good. If you go into maybe like paid search or like paid social, you will still need to know how to use analytics to monitor like your website, track if people are clicking on it enough, like if you have a good click-through rate. All of this stuff comes under analytics, and this is something that I hadn't done straight after I graduated because I didn't know the importance of it. But a lot of roles that I was applying to, I kept seeing analytics in the job description, and that's when I knew that if this is repeated throughout, it must be important, and I would have to learn about it. So I just kind of gave myself a head start, and then I started learning. So you get a few different modules you can do. So there's one for beginner, and then there's intermediate, and then there's like advanced. So I did the beginner one, and then now within my current role, I'm completing the intermediate one as I go through. So I think it's great if you can already build that foundation, and it's something that's going to set you apart as well. Similar to the Excel, not a lot of people focus on these certifications. They mainly go towards like digital marketing. So if you can kind of complete a course that will teach you something new about marketing, and it will kind of also set you apart on your CV, it's a win-win. So I would really recommend these 4 courses. And then I have 3 more recommendations. So these are kind of like training programs and virtual internships. So the first one is Brixton Finishing School, and this is something that I did last year, and then they've also launched it again this year. So what it is, it's a free 8-week program which gives you an overview of the advertising and marketing industry, and they also partner with a lot of companies like KFC. And it's really great because after you complete these 8 weeks, so you can do it completely at your own pace, and after you complete it, you will have a chance to like speak to these companies, and there sometimes is a chance to kind of apply to any of the roles that they have available, and they only show it to people that have completed the course. So you're more likely, you have a higher chance of basically getting into these roles. And I think it's a great way to kind of differentiate yourself from all of the other like online courses that everyone's been completing. So yeah, it's open to 18 to 25-year-olds across the UK. Brixton Finishing School is mainly created it to help people from underrepresented backgrounds, so anyone from the BAME community, but it's open to everyone. So I would really recommend it, and it basically gives you all the skills that you would need to enter the industry. I know one of the modules, they go through like CV tips, networking tips, they go through how to build a portfolio. There's a lot that they go into, stuff that you necessarily might not learn at uni, that I think would be a great like stepping stone into the industry. And as I said, you can complete this anytime you want. So if you were to do like one module a week, at the end of the 8 weeks, you're pretty much done. Or you could do all of the modules in 1 week, depending on how much time you have. But that's something I would really recommend. It's credited as well, so it would look amazing on your CV. So the next thing that I would recommend is a virtual internship. So this is what I completed around like July last year when I was searching to like build my own experience, and it's called the Inside Sherpa Sydney Romantics Design and Branding Virtual Internship. So this is amazing because first of all, it's quite fun to complete. You can complete it in your own time. What they give you is basically a set of videos, and you just have to listen to their tasks and then complete them. I think one of them was creating a mood board. So if you're quite creative and if you like influencer marketing, I think you'll really like this. Because it was about this clothing store who wanted to reach out to new influencers. So you kind of have to go and find new influencers, and then you have to make like mood boards based on their clothes. It's quite fun. I would really recommend it. And they kind of teach you all about like branding, community engagement. They do really test your creativity because you can use any platform. All the work you do, it's not marked. So as soon as you submit it, you will pass the internship. But they do give you feedback, and you can complete the task as many times as you want based on their feedback. So it's completely all dependent on you. And yeah, it's super fun. So I would really recommend it. And the next thing I would recommend is the MC Saatchi Open House. So MC Saatchi is a marketing industry agency, if you haven't heard of it already. And they opened this free online training course last year. Which I think it was 8 weeks long, and it was 1 hour every week on a Wednesday. So you have to do 1 hour every week. And it's great. So they pretty much teach you like the ins, like not the ins and outs, but like they give you a brief overview of the marketing industry, and it's super interesting as well. So if you have any time at all, I would really recommend completing the Bricks and Finishing School program. It's live now. I think it launched last week this year. Inside Sherpa is active throughout the whole year, and I think MC Saatchi is only available during September time. I know that's when it was available last year. So if it does become available this year again, I would really recommend it. It is something that will really enhance your prospects of getting a job after uni, only because you actually get to network with the people who are like giving you all these talks. You know, you can go back and you can connect with them on LinkedIn, tell them how much you liked their talks, and just kind of get like informational interviews with them after. And then if you were to apply to that agency after you graduate, you would already have those connections. So the next thing that I want to talk about is volunteering. And you guys probably would have heard this so much before, how beneficial volunteering is. And I'm going to tell you from my own experience that volunteering is amazing. I'm pretty sure it was one of the reasons that I got my current role alongside my blog. So last year, I think after graduating for 6 months straight, so when I was running my blog, I networked with this girl who ended up being the CEO of her own like independent publishing house. And she really liked my post, and so she reached out to me, said that she was looking for volunteers to help with her startup. And I thought, you know, I needed to build up my experience. Let's do it. Let's see what it's about. And it was only 1 to 2 hours max a week. So it was very flexible around my time, around any commitments that I had. And I got to develop lots of new skills and gain work experience for my CV, which really enhanced my prospects. And that was the reason I ended up getting like 3, I think I got 3 interviews in December, and then I got all 3 roles. And it was pretty much because of me spending my time volunteering. So if any of you have the chance to volunteer, I would really recommend it. You get the chance to meet new people that are in the same boat as you, so other volunteers, and also people that work in the company already. Depending on where you volunteer, it's a great chance to make a difference. You know, if you're volunteering for a cause that you really like, and something that you're like truly passionate about, you will get a chance to make a difference. And you also get the chance to explore new interests that you maybe might not have the chance to during university. So obviously I know you guys are all like completing uni from home, so I'm not too sure like what kind of events and stuff you have access to right now, even like the volunteering prospects. So I would really recommend volunteering, and the fact that you can even do it online makes it so much easier, especially if you want to go into marketing. It's amazing. Like if you know that you want to go into social media management, you could get a volunteer role as a social media manager, even if it's for like an hour a week. It will look amazing on your CV, and you don't actually have to put that it was an hour per week on your CV. Just put full time, and then obviously when you get to your interview, you can tell them about all the projects that you completed, the impact that you made, what you got out of it, like what skills it taught you. And I think that's the main thing that matters, not even the amount of time that you spend volunteering. So the places that I would really recommend are Do It. Do It has some fab opportunities as the student here. Student here is really flexible around your needs as well. It's pretty much made by uni students for uni students. So they have a lot of opportunities. I know you guys recently had a talk with Sophie from Pretty Little Marketer, so she had an opportunity live as well. So stuff like that you might not necessarily find on like other like websites and platforms that you could find on Student here. They offer a lot of opportunities, and even like charity jobs if you want to volunteer for a charity. Media Trust is amazing as well if you want to find a volunteering role within marketing. And Reach and Age UK are fab as well, and they can all be done from the comfort of your home, so you don't have to go anywhere. You don't even have to show your face to anyone. You can literally just do it and build your experience, and it's actually a lot of fun. You would think like volunteering, like it sounds like sometimes, like for me when I first heard of it, it sounds kind of boring sometimes, but it's actually a lot of fun because you do get to work with people like of the same age. Everyone's in the same boat. You kind of get to learn from each other. So I would highly recommend volunteering, especially even if you can do it now during uni for a couple months. You don't have to do it like now till when you graduate. Even like 2-3 months would look amazing on your CV. It just shows that there's other stuff that you're interested in apart from your degree. And then the last thing, the last section on how to make yourself more employable is building your personal brand and networking. So you guys would have probably heard that use LinkedIn, network, and that's something that I'm here to emphasize. Like LinkedIn is amazing right now, and the fact that we don't even have to go to all of these networking events that must have been like really scary to go to actually see these people in person. I think now it's so much easier because you can just network with pretty much anyone, from anywhere, from any company, from any industry. It's amazing. So what I would recommend is, if you're not on LinkedIn already, first of all, get onto LinkedIn, make your profile, and then I would say connect with your peers, colleagues from previous like jobs, industry leaders. So for the marketing industry, that could be like Neil Patel. Connect with like family members, connect with recruiters, talent teams, alumni, so people that went to the same uni as you. And also I'd say people that are 1 year ahead of you. And I would really recommend this because people that are a year ahead of you are already kind of in their graduate jobs now. They're already like settled in, and they're more likely to help you out when you send them a connection request and if you ask them for advice or tips and tricks on how they got their role, because they literally just went through like the job hunting process and they know exactly what it's like to be in your position, to network and to kind of just get tips. So I would say, if you're going to reach out to anyone, people a year ahead of you in your dream roles or in your dream companies are your best bet at getting more like valuable information. And I would really, like, I can't stress this enough, like personalize every single request that you send. So you can always find something in common when you click on someone's profile, whether that's like, did you go to the same uni or did you study the same course? Do you have a mutual connection that could potentially introduce you to them? Do you have some of the same interests? You can find out so much from someone's profile. Like if you click on their current like activity section to see what they're currently doing, like if they've commented on a post that you find interested as well, like you could mention that in the request. And just personalize it as much as you can, because they're more likely to actually add you to their network and then like speak to you. And one tip that I haven't even posted on my blog that I'm going to give you guys. This is what I did during my job hunt. So I'd say make a list of 20 companies that you'd like to work for. So first, obviously, filter out by the industry. So if you want to work in the beauty industry, the technology industry, filter out the industry, and then write down 20 different companies that you'd like to work for. And then go on LinkedIn and then find all of these 20 companies and follow every single company. After you've done that, go on LinkedIn and then find the talent team or the HR managers or the talent acquisition or like the marketing managers of these companies. They usually go around like these types of names, like the talent team. Anyone that's like a recruiter from that company, find them, and I would say follow them. Don't add them just yet. So follow them in the beginning for all of these 20 companies. And then after that, start engaging with their posts. So I would say try and focus on connecting with one person per week, because after that it can get too much. You could get potentially like burn out from spending too much time on LinkedIn trying to connect with so many different people. Try and focus on one person and see what they're up to, like engage with their posts, comment on their posts. And then I'd say after a week, after maybe actually not even a week, if you find something interesting that they've commented on or that they've taken part in, send them a message and just be like, hi, for example, like, hi Julia, like I really liked the campaign that you took part in for Makeup Revolution, and I would love to connect with you and go on a virtual coffee for like 5 minutes if you have some spare time, and then just say thank you at the end. And that's what I did during my job hunt, and I pretty much connected with so many different people from my dream companies. I connected with people from so many different industries that I wanted to interview for my own blog as well. And I feel like when you take a more personalized approach, it's a very like slow approach, but it pretty much has like a 99% success rate. The more personalized you are, the more likely people are going to want to talk to you. Everyone on LinkedIn is really nice. So if you kind of reciprocate the energy and just kind of engage with them, they're more likely to want to help you out as well. So I would say, yeah, get on LinkedIn if you're not already on LinkedIn, because the platform is amazing and it can open up so many different opportunities for you. So the next segment is going to cover different CV tips and tricks. So let's get into it. So the structure and formatting. As for the structure, this is a structure that I currently have on my CV, and I had to see a lot of different people after uni to fix my CV. Personally, my uni careers advisors weren't as great. I don't think so. When they fixed my CV, I didn't even get any interviews. And then I had to seek a mentor, and then this is what she did for me, and my CV has been amazing since. So first of all, I would start your CV with a professional summary. And this is just like a little personal statement of like 4 to 5 sentences, full of buzzwords, like mirroring the language in the job description that you're going to be applying for. And it just has like a short summary of your recent education and work experiences. And I've actually put my professional summary, like the example, at the end of this PowerPoint. So I'll show you guys that at the end. So after your professional summary, you should put your education. So obviously as uni students, you're not really expected to come out with heaps of experience. So that's why you should always have your education first. I wouldn't recommend putting your GCSEs because you have a degree, like you don't need to show your GCSEs. That's kind of a given that you already have them. So include your A-levels or your college results, and then have your degree right at the top with what grade you got. And then also, you can also, this is when, if you don't have any experience, this is where you can talk about any group projects that you were part of, any reports that you've written. If you're in your final year, I'm just about to graduate in a few months, this is where you talk about your dissertation and what it was about. And then in brackets, you can put like the grade you got. So that looks amazing as well. You can also talk about like any projects you completed at uni that weren't part of your degree. if you went out of your way to attend like networking events, for example, this webinar, like this is something that you can put on your CV that not a lot of people will, because it shows that you're really proactive and you want to learn more about your industry. And recruiters love it. So if you're struggling to fill up your CV, I think this would be a great thing to add under education. And then after that, I would add key achievements. So this is where you can possibly say, for example, you're applying for a job that's looking for analytical skills. This is where you can say you've completed your Google Analytics certification, because obviously recruiters pretty much spend like 6 seconds on your CV, and they kind of skim read it. So obviously for someone that's looking for analytical experience, if they're going to see Google Analytics, that's already a green flag for them. You can also mention any charity events you were part of, or for example, if you got like a really good grade in one of your uni exams or coursework, you can put that here. You can talk about your like retail or part-time jobs, if you kind of went out of your way to provide good customer service and then you got an award for it. I feel like that could go here as well. Have you done anything for your university society? Have you run any events? Have you worked in a team that was really successful? Have you completed any presentations? That can all go in your key achievements. And then next I would have professional experience. So if you don't necessarily have a lot of experience, you can just have experience, and then you can just have all of your experience in chronological order. But if you do have a little bit of marketing experience, I would recommend having professional experience and then having all of your marketing experience under that. And then if you have any retail roles or like volunteering work, I would put that under other work experience. And then to end it off, I would have a section with awards, courses and achievements, where you can basically put all the different online courses you've taken part in, if you've attended any webinars, any networking events, anything outside of your degree, basically, you can put there. And if you still have like space remaining, and depending on the role that you're applying for as well, I would really recommend having an interest section. So this is great because it helps recruiters see your personality, which they can't throughout your CV. So if you're applying for a role that's very like client-based and you're gonna have to speak to and communicate with a lot of people from different departments, it would be a great idea to show that you're outgoing in your interest section. And this could be by talking about a social event you ran at uni maybe, or that you were a leader in a presentation, like a group presentation that you gave. So I think that would be really good to add to your interest section. As per the formatting, you guys probably have heard this before, so maximum 2 pages. The best I would recommend is between 1 to 5 pages, just so that everything is concise, you know that you haven't waffled on. So keep everything punchy, straight to the point, save like all the little details for your interview. Make sure you have everything in chronological order. So obviously, as you guys are students, as I said, keep your education right at the top so employees can see it. And if you're struggling to actually make space for all of this on your CV, use narrow margins. So this really makes your CV look very clear and sophisticated, and it also allows you for more space to actually get all your experience down, and then also have all of your experiences in bullet points. So you need to make sure you're as concise as possible. Recruiters, they spend about 30 seconds in total, like skim reading your CV. So you need to make it as easy as you can for them. And it also look much nicer on your CV too. And then a tip I have actually, so when you're applying for a role, to make sure that you can basically tell employers that this is the most recent version of your CV and that you've tailored it for them, even if you might not have needed to tailor it. But what you can do is actually, when you name your CV, name it within this format. So have your first name and then have your surname and then have the month and the year, just as I put, like for me, it'd be Ashleen Narula CV, February 2021. So this just shows that you've this is your most recent CV basically, and it kind of like shows them that you have tailored it to the job that you're applying for, even if you haven't. And the last tip that I would have is to hyperlink your a link to your LinkedIn profile, your portfolio, and your work experiences. So what I mean by this is when you complete your CV on Word, all you have to do is highlight. So say if you have your name, and then underneath you have your email, and then you have you want to link your LinkedIn profile. If you just write LinkedIn, highlight it, right click, and then it says hyperlink, and then you just have to put in the link of your LinkedIn profile, and then press enter, and it will just hyperlink it for you. So when recruiters go on your profile, on your CV, they will just have to click on LinkedIn, and then it will showcase your LinkedIn profile. Same with your portfolio, they'll just have to click on portfolio and it will show your portfolio. So it kind of just keeps everything in one place, and it makes it super easy for them. And as for work experiences, what I mean is sometimes we can get work experiences and volunteering positions and internships in like startup companies or companies that people might not have heard of. So what you can do is actually, when you write your CV, and when you write the name of where you had the work experience, if you can hyperlink that as well to a link to their website or their LinkedIn page, or just anything that can provide more detail, recruiters can literally just click on that and they can find out more details about the company, and it just saves them time having to call you up maybe and ask you about like, what is this company about. It just makes it super easy for them. So these are all like the quick tips that I had. The next thing, which is super important that I want to talk about, is quantifying all of the experiences that are on your CV. So this is kind of, it goes under the XYZ formula. So what you have to do is say, like, I did this, which resulted in this by doing this. And then some of the examples for this are, so I built the business's social media from 0 to 10K followers on Instagram in 4 months, leading to a 40% increase in online sales by implementing a strong community management strategy. I increased social media followers by 45% across all of their networks by running targeted paid digital campaigns. And the last one is a direct example from my own CV. So I exceeded targets consistently, previously responsible for 50% of sales within 2 days, which doubled the level of monthly sales, leading to positive customer feedback and praise for my work ethic. So you have to make sure to start every sentence off with an action word. And then you have to say what you did and then what it resulted in. And that's where you bring in your numbers. Recruiters love numbers. Like, if you can, the more numbers you can add, the better, because it really shows the impact. And then you have to show like how you did this. And this is where you talk about the skill. So what I would say is the biggest mistake that I see is a lot of people talk about too much, they add too much description in their experiences, and they don't actually talk about the achievement and the impact that they made. So what you can do is, when you're actually writing your experiences, have a look at the job, like the job that you want to apply to, or if you don't know yet, have a look at like job roles that you think you may want to apply to after you graduate. Have a look at a few to see the kind of skills that they're looking for, and then if they're looking for like social media management and you've got experience, that's when you'll have your first sentence as increased social media followers by 45%, because that's going to match their job description exactly and their requirements, and it's going to make you more of a prospect than your peers. So yeah, quantify every experience on your CV, have it in chronological order in bullet points, and keep it like super quick and punchy. I would say all of your experiences, I would say have about 3 to 4 bullet points per experience, and try and get it between 1 to 2 lines per bullet point. Make sure it's not more than that, because it kind of just turns into a paragraph and makes it harder to read. And I would say when you're writing your CV, when you're writing your experiences, at the end of each sentence, just reread it and ask yourself, like, can I shorten this? Or like, is there any way that I can make it more concise? Like, are there any words that I can get rid of? You know, same as what you would do like with your uni essays. And then just ask yourself as well, is this information relevant for this position? Make sure you don't have anything like irrelevant. Everything should basically match the job description, and I will show you how to do this in a few slides. So as students and graduates, like, it's really hard to, if you don't have any experience, about what you should put on your CV. So here are just a few examples. If you have any part-time jobs, like, all of your experience within the last 5 years counts. So make sure you put it, because it shows a lot, even if your roles weren't like necessarily marketing related, it shows a lot of like soft and transferable skills that is something that can't be taught. So employers love it, basically. Any internships you were part of, maybe like the Bright Network internship, if anyone did that last year. If you've attended any insight days, that would be really good, especially if you're applying to that company as well. It just shows that you're so passionate about them that you've previously attended an insight day. Any languages you speak with your proficiency level as well. If you can speak a couple of languages, that looks amazing as well. Any volunteer work you've completed, any workshops you've attended, any webinars you've attended, such as this one, that's something you can put on your CV to show how passionate you are. If you have a blog or any passion projects, like I mentioned before, like if you have a podcast or if you've been freelancing, if you've completed any certifications and online courses, definitely, like, you have to put those on your CV. Any projects you completed that weren't part of your job role or your uni role, because that just shows that you're kind of willing to take any opportunity that comes your way, and you're independent, a self-starter. It shows a lot of skills that you can talk about in your interviews. Any professional associations you participated in whilst you were at uni, and societies and clubs you're a part of that you've participated in, that you've run events for, any of that sort of thing you can put on your CV. So the next thing is how you can actually tailor your CV. So there's two different ways. So you can tailor your CV like quite generally, or you can tailor it for a specific role. So for generally, what you want to do, for example, if you're like in your first or your second year, and you're not really looking to apply for a job at the moment, or you don't really know which role you want to, but you know which industry, what you can do is find a couple of roles that you want to apply for. So if you want to go into social media marketing, you'd probably look at like marketing assistant, or like social media coordinator, social media manager, like those type of roles. I would say find about like 5 roles, copy and paste their job descriptions into Word, and then have a read through of all of them. And then I would say highlight all of the keywords that you keep seeing that are repetitive. A lot of the time, most job descriptions are quite similar. They would look for pretty much like the same things throughout. So highlight those, and then all you need to do is you need to try and add those keywords to your CV. And then that would make it quite like industry specific. But if you want to tailor for a specific role, you do the same thing. So you find the role, find the job description, copy and paste it into Word, and then you have to basically optimize your CV with those keywords throughout your personal summary and your experiences. And I will show you guys how to do this now. So this is an example of a job description for Skinny Dip. So you can see here that they require a degree in PR or marketing, or related qualification. So you need to basically have your degree like right at the top, so they can see if you have a marketing degree. This one obviously requires 2 years direct experience. If you have if you start a blog whilst you're in like your second year, by the time you like at the start of second year, by the time you graduate, you already have those 2 years experience. So this is like more of an experienced role, but we'll just go through the example. They also want a content portfolio. So what you have to do is have your portfolio ready and make sure it's linked right at the top. They want strong copywriting skills. So here you can maybe talk about any you can mention any marketing projects, or like essays, or like dissertations that you've written and you've gotten really good grades. And you can have that in your key achievement section. They obviously want someone with an extensive knowledge of social media channels and different types of scheduling tools. So this is something that you can mention in your professional summary and say something like, if this is a role that you're going to apply to straight after graduation, you can say something like, a recent graduate in marketing with extensive knowledge of social media platforms such as so and so, and experienced in using scheduling tools like so and so. And then obviously you would have to actually back this up in your experiences, and kind of reiterate it, like where you've used it, what skills you've gotten for it. This also requires confidence in building reports on Google Analytics. Once again, something you can mention in your professional summary. Experience in using Google Analytics throughout my internship at so and so, for a period of like 4 months, for example. Immaculate organization and attention to detail. This is something that, so it's a transferable skill. So you can even get this under your education. So when you talk about some of your uni experiences, so any projects you've completed, it's kind of a given if you were to use like a synonym for it. For instance, I wouldn't necessarily say fully copy the job description word for word. Use a synonym to show like how you've got good organization skills. This can maybe be from saying you created a calendar for organizing your work, or you use a technique such as setting goals for yourself, like daily, monthly, weekly. So stuff like that shows like good organization skills. Your ability to balance more than one project at a time. So this is going to be shown obviously if you run a blog, or if you have a part-time job, or if you volunteer, anything like that you have on your CV, and then obviously you've got uni at the same time, that it will just already show that you're able to balance more than one thing at a time. Proficiency in using Microsoft. So this is something, like I mentioned earlier, if you complete like the HubSpot course on Excel, that is something that you can mention in your key achievements, and it will show the employer that you know how to use Microsoft. Video editing skills preferred. So if you have any video editing skills, that can also go in your key achievements or in your professional summary. Either or is perfect. Same with photography skills. Because I would say photography skills is a must, so I would actually put that in my professional summary. And they also want strong numerical skills for reporting on performance across all platforms. So this is something that I would mention in my key achievements, and you would have to give like an example, and you have to make it really concise. So you can just say previous experience in reporting across different social media platforms using Excel or using Google Analytics, something like that. And then where it says passion for the Skinny Dip brand, this is something you can mention in your professional summary. So you can say in your first sentence, you can say something like a recent graduate with experience within social media marketing, passionate for securing a role with Skinny Dip. So literally just mentioning the company's name in the first sentence is how you can show your passion for the brand. And what you can also do actually is create a creative CV. This can be, you can go as like all out as you want. You can create on Canva, which I think works amazing. You don't need to create something like physical. You can just kind of add, like I made one for Charlotte Tilbury, and what I did was I copied their website layout, and then I just added all of my experiences, like why I'm passionate for the brand, and I did get an interview. So that's something that that's a way for you guys to showcase your passion as well for Skinny Dip. And then here's another example. So once again, they also said be educated to degree level, so mention that within your first sentence of your professional summary. Here they want experience within a marketing role, ideally within the beauty industry. Be passionate about MAC, the beauty industry, and consumer trends. So you can just say if you have like a beauty blog maybe, or if you're passionate about beauty and you read up on different like beauty magazines, that's something you can mention in your professional summary to showcase that you are truly passionate. If you've attended like any of like Mac's events online, or you keep up to date with them on LinkedIn, if there's something that they've like come out with a new campaign or something, that's something you can mention in your professional summary. They want you to be highly organized and able to juggle multiple projects, work tight deadlines. As uni students, you guys have all done this. You know, we tend to get so many different projects at the same time for different modules, and sometimes some of these deadlines are like overlapping. So that's something that you can write underneath your education section, and then obviously write the grade that you got as well to prove that you can successfully do this. Be self-motivated, proactive, autonomous, keen to learn in a fast-paced environment. So with self-motivation, once again, if you don't have any experience, this can come under uni as well, because obviously right now you're all at home, you don't really have anyone to motivate you, you're kind of doing a lot of self-learning. Excellent communication skills, so this can be through any webinars you've attended or any networking events, or if you have a blog, if you've been talking to people from the industry, that's something you can mention as well. A strong attention to detail and having like computer skills is something that I would actually add in your key achievements, and then you also have to back it up within your experience and say like, where are these key like computer skills? For example, you could have got it through an internship, or you've done an online course to back it up. For example, here, like you could have done an online course on Microsoft, on Word, on Excel. And then finally, they just want you to be reliable, committed, and willing to go above and beyond. So you can do something like for this, how you've been going above and beyond within learning more about marketing. So this would be about all the different online courses, any workshops you've attended, all of that kind of stuff that would really set you apart. And obviously, as I said before, if you have a blog, a podcast, if you're freelancing, all of that stuff will really enhance how reliable you are, and like you're willing to go above and beyond to enhance your learning, get more experience, even in a situation like this. And then this is an example from my professional summary. So this is what I wrote when I tailored it to 2 different job roles that I was applying to at the time. One of them was my current job role, which I'm working in right now. And both of them were very client focused, because they were both for 2 different agencies. And I would have to work with a lot of clients every single day. I would have to be proactive and kind of take control of my own learning, which I'm doing right now. I had to keep up to date with different news, and I had to be like outgoing, because obviously it's an agency, you have to work with so many different people from different departments. You have to build relationships. I have to work with, like, as I say, like influencers. So that's something that I took straight from both job descriptions and I put it into my professional summary. So for mine, I wrote, I'm a digitally creative first-class honours business and management graduate with extensive experience in social media management, raising brand awareness, creating meaningful engagement, and leading community growth. A forward-thinking marketer with demonstrable experience of developing consistent brand personalities, growing followings, creating engaging content, and analysing key metrics to drive further growth and engagement across social channels. Confident producing proactive and reactive content, identifying trending news, and scheduling creative posts in a variety of media formats. Outgoing with a passion for meaningful engagement, experience in building partnerships, initiating collaborations, and working with freelancers and influencers to amplify marketing efforts. And then everything that I said in this summary, so I didn't actually mention any like metrics or any like numbers, because I had my education and then I had my key achievements straight underneath. And then within my key achievements is where I kind of went into a little bit more detail of all of what I've said here. I said I have got experience in social media management, so then I spoke about like my blog, creating like meaningful engagement and community growth. So for the internship that I had with a publishing company, that's where I spoke about like managing their platforms and growing it. So you kind of, anything you say in your professional summary, you have to back it up. And I think your key achievements is a great way to do that. So that is the end of the presentation. Does anyone have any questions?
I've got a few, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Hang on, I wrote them down. On our LinkedIn pages, what kind of things would be best to post? Because I just feel, I feel like my page is really boring because I don't really know what to put on it.
Did you take part in the PLM LinkedIn challenge by any chance last week?
No, I didn't.
That's okay. So basically, she had 3 different topics for people to post about, which I think is a great starting point. So one of them was to actually introduce yourself to your network. So she had a post example with 5 facts about yourself. So I think that would be a great way to actually allow your network to get to know you. But for like students, maybe you can talk about like what your favorite aspect of marketing is, or like what your experience of studying during a pandemic's been, like what you've learned from kind of just studying at home. You can talk about what you hope to aspire, like your current goals and what you hope to aspire after graduation maybe. You can talk about your favorite marketing resources. You can talk about any, like, you can jump onto like different marketing trends as well. Like last week, the whole thing with like Weetabix and baked beans that went viral. So if you can comment on stuff like that and industry news, that would be really good. One thing I wouldn't recommend is sharing if you've completed like an online course, because a lot of people tend to do that, and it doesn't really add anything valuable for your network. It just shows that you've completed a course, unless you've actually learned something from it. Like for example, if you took an email marketing course and then you decided to start a newsletter, I think that would be something good to post as well. If you've actually got any achievements at uni, I think that would be great. For example, if you completed a project that you were really passionate about, and for example, it could be a dissertation or could be an essay, a piece of coursework, and then you'd like to share that with your network, I think that would be great as well. And if I think of any more ideas, what I'll do, I'll forward them over to Jess, because I do have a post coming up about this. I think would be really useful for you guys.
Thank you.
That sounds good to me as well, and I'll pass on everything I can to the entire group, and I'll post it on our Facebook page as well, so that everyone can access any resources that Ashleen sends me.
Yeah.
I just wondered as well, on our CVs, do you think it would be a good idea to put a picture of us on there as well?
No, I wouldn't recommend putting a picture, because it just leads to bias within recruitment. Any role you're applying to, I'd say never add a CV. It does more harm than good, because if a recruiter is hiring for a role and they've got like over 200 applicants, they see a CV with a picture on it, they're probably going to just throw that CV away and not even consider it, because a lot of like companies tend to focus on creating like a diverse and unbiased team. So if you add your picture, like it just creates a lot of bias. I would never recommend adding a picture to your CV.
My last one was, is there any podcasts that you'd recommend if we were thinking of starting our own one that would be good, maybe to get an idea of what we could do?
So there's actually quite a few podcasts that I currently follow myself. So I think one is called, it's quite a smaller one, but it's called Finding My Fit podcast. And the girl who runs it, her name's Athena. She's lovely. I'd say if you were to listen to like what she talks about, so her page, like, her podcast is mainly about like health and fitness, self-love, and she just goes into, I think she has an episode like once a week, and if you were to like maybe have a listen and see what she does, like the kind of questions she asks, the kind of people she interviews, I think that would be a great starting point as well. I would also recommend let me find it. So obviously the Girls in Marketing podcast, I think that's really good. So they've only got about 4 episodes so far, I think. But I think that gives you, because it's quite a professional podcast, it gives you an overview of how you should approach like people and like what type of questions you should ask them. I think that's what I would recommend. And also maybe the Boss Babe podcast. So the Boss Babe podcast is all about like personal development and building your personal brand. So that would be really useful in finding out how you could get started.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Does anyone have any more questions? Okay, that's fine. Oh, sorry, Jess, were you going to say something?
Sorry, no, my Wi-Fi just completely cut out, so I actually left the call for a few minutes there.
Okay. So I was just going to say, yeah, if you do have any more questions, if you want any more help or guidance, you can always message me on Grad Girl Marketing on Instagram. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can message me there. My name is literally Ashleen Narula. Or if you just search Grad Girl Marketing, it'll come up. And I also have a closed Facebook group for anyone that wants to go into marketing. So if you have any like industry related questions, you can always pop in a message join the group, pop in a message there, and everyone is more than happy to help. And I will send any resources that I think would be really useful to you guys to Jess as well. And if you guys want any like CV reviews or help like that, yeah, just feel free to message me. I'm more than happy to help. But that's all from me for today.
I wanted to say thank you very much for agreeing to do this talk. It has been really, really helpful. I'm sure many of our members would agree as well. And it's so lovely of you to offer your advice on CVs and all your resources too. But yeah, I will pass on everything that gets sent to me to our members and to any participants from today as well. But yeah, thank you very much for doing this, and we enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'd just like to, sorry to interrupt, but yeah, I'd just like to reiterate our gratitude for your talk, and it's been like very helpful. And like you mentioned, that was your first talk, and honestly, you could not tell, you did so well. Like I'm really, really impressed. So thank you so much for like this opportunity for everyone, and I'm sure we'll all walk away with a lot. So thank you.
Definitely.
That's so kind. Thank you so much. But yeah, as I said, anytime you guys need help, literally just message me. I'm more than happy to help.